Your femoral bone density might be predicting something way more serious than your fracture risk. Researchers just found it's actually forecasting your overall mortality risk. And the relationship is stronger than anyone expected.
Hi there, I'm Tony Lee, and this is Hot Flasher, your daily menopause podcast that serves up fresh news, research, and wellness tips. I've built a daily news pipeline to find the latest on women's health and menopause research. Allow me to introduce my co-host, Nikki, who handles the headlines. Take it away, Nikki.
Thanks, Tony. We've got some fascinating brain and bone science today that's going to make you think differently about what's happening in your body. So I came across this new research about memory problems after menopause, and it finally explains something that's been bugging me for years. We all know estrogen drops during menopause. That's not news. But what researchers at the University of Arizona just figured out is that your brain tissue itself stops making estrogen, not just your ovaries. Think about it this way. Your brain has been getting estrogen from two sources: what your ovaries pump into your bloodstream and what your brain cells make locally right where they need it. After menopause, you lose both. It's like losing your main water supply and your backup well at the same time. The study looked at brain tissue from women who had died, comparing those who were pre- and postmenopausal. What they found was that the brain's ability to produce its own estrogen drops significantly after menopause. And this local estrogen production, it's crucial for memory formation and cognitive function. This actually makes me feel better about brain fog, honestly. It's not just getting older or stress or lack of sleep, though those don't help. There's a real, measurable biological reason why words disappear mid-sentence and why you walk into rooms with no idea why you're there. The researchers found that areas of the brain responsible for memory and learning showed the biggest drops in local estrogen production, which explains why memory issues are often one of the first cognitive changes women notice in perimenopause, sometimes years before hot flashes show up. Now, this doesn't mean brain fog is inevitable or permanent. Research suggests that hormone therapy can help some women, and there are other strategies that support cognitive function. But it does validate what millions of women have been experiencing and, frankly, having dismissed for decades. Moving from brain to bones, and this next study genuinely surprised me. We all know bone density matters for fracture risk, but researchers just published findings that femoral bone mineral density is actually predicting overall mortality risk in postmenopausal women. Not just bone-related deaths, all-cause mortality. This comes from data on over 5,000 postmenopausal women in the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey. Women with osteoporosis had significantly higher death rates from all causes, even after researchers controlled for age, weight, smoking, and other health factors. What's particularly interesting is that the relationship isn't linear. The mortality risk is most pronounced within specific bone density ranges, which could help doctors better assess overall health risk, not just fracture risk, when they're looking at your DEXA scan results. I keep thinking about why this might be. Bone health reflects so many other systems in your body: your hormone levels, nutrition, physical activity, inflammation. Maybe bone density is acting like a canary in the coal mine for overall health status. This doesn't mean having osteoporosis is a death sentence, but it does suggest that bone health deserves more attention as an indicator of overall well-being, not just something to worry about if you fall. And speaking of bone health and psychology, there's this fascinating study that just came out looking at something called orthorexia nervosa in postmenopausal women with osteoporosis. Orthorexia is an obsession with eating foods you perceive as healthy. It's different from anorexia because it's not about weight or calories, it's about food purity and health perfectionism. The researchers found higher rates of orthorexia in postmenopausal women with osteoporosis compared to those with normal bone density. They also found worse body image and mood in the osteoporosis group. This makes sense when you think about it. You get diagnosed with osteoporosis, you're told diet matters for bone health, and if you're already anxious about aging and health changes, you might develop rigid, obsessive patterns around bone healthy eating. I've seen this in my own social circles, women who suddenly become evangelical about calcium supplements and start eliminating entire food groups because they read somewhere that they're bad for bones. Or who become anxious about every meal choice, turning food into medicine rather than nourishment. The study authors suggest that healthcare providers should be screening for these psychological patterns when treating osteoporosis, because orthorexia can actually interfere with getting adequate nutrition, including nutrients needed for bone health. It's this weird paradox where trying to be perfectly healthy can make you less healthy, both physically and mentally. What strikes me about all three of these studies is how interconnected everything is during and after menopause. Your brain chemistry changes affect memory. Your bone health reflects and predicts overall health status. Your mental health around food and body image can impact your physical recovery. We're not dealing with isolated symptoms that need isolated fixes. We're dealing with a whole system recalibrating itself, and maybe the most important thing we can do is understand these connections rather than treating each piece separately. So when your doctor orders a DEXA scan, maybe it's worth having a conversation about what those numbers mean beyond fracture risk. And when you're struggling with memory issues, remember there's real biology behind what you're experiencing.
Thanks for listening to Hot Flasher. We're back tomorrow with more, so don't forget to subscribe. See you tomorrow.